Hey, Haas.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Like, it's crazy. It was like our last episode came out, like yesterday? Was it like a couple weeks ago? Was it like
around in like 4 years ago?
4 years? I think it was about 4 years ago. A little bit of a hiatus for the VideoDestruct podcast. But yeah,
really needed to recharge the batteries. Also, I've been thinking long and hard about how to refresh the formula.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've settled on a good idea.
Yeah, I think so too. If you're catching us here, we're in full video today, and this might be how it goes going forward. But we're back. We're back. The VideoDestruct Podcast of season 6, I guess, is what we'll call this. So,
sure.
If we number these things going forward, who knows? Might not even number these things. But we wanted to talk about video games. Life has moved on in a lot of ways, but we're back, and we're going to talk about some video games. I've been playing video games, Hoss, in the past 4 years, which is crazy. I hardly ever played video games. Now I'm back into it. So
crazy.
It's nuts, right? So yeah, I've got like 3 games actually.
I went through like a period of time where I didn't play video games. In the last 4 years, and that was like the first time I had ever done that. And that was weird.
Yeah.
I've been really trying to, explore the space of like how I'm going to be a slovenly 40-something. And, between playing video games and, putting together Gundams, I think I've really settled on some good middle-aged man material here.
Yeah, same here. I've been getting into painting minis too. It's like I don't know, in the age of digital, they can't take away my tiny painted miniatures. I bought those and
never
painted them, and they're mine. They can't take it. They can erot them from the rules, though. That's the bad part. They can take them out of the rules.
That is true.
But
it's like how in those fucking like trading card games like Magic and shit, how it's like, what do you mean I can't use this card I fucking own, you piece of shit?
Exactly.
It's like, no, that card's 3 years old. You're not allowed to use that anymore.
Can't use that in standard, man. It's like, which, they to be fair, Magic has stretched the standard limit to like 3 years, which is crazy. I don't know. Standard's a weird format anyway. It's fine. So, you can play lots of different formats for that. I could talk about Magic.
I've never played a trading card game. Like
don't start.
I owned some Magic cards back in the 90s, but like I never played. It was just one of those things where like you go to the comic shop with your friends and they're buying stuff and you're like, I'll get a pack or two.
Yeah. I was never big into it. I played quite a bit this past year though, so kind of got a little more into that. So, but yeah, let's.
Is that like how you and your brother are becoming like like spending free time together?
Quite a bit, yeah. He's joined an old school group that like plays old school Magic stuff that's like up to a certain like past level of play or whatever. And I'm thinking about jumping into that because it's kind of very nostalgic for us because we played back in the 90s. So that's it's kind of like a lot of the stuff that we played back then. So I'm like, that sounds kind of fun. Maybe I'll join that little league and play some of that too. So it's pretty fun.
I nearly bought a box of the Final Fantasy ones when they came out just to like put it in a closet.
That was super popular. It would probably be a good investment, honestly, because all of those still are super expensive. Like in there.
Well, the thing about that though that like kind of turned me off of it was that like the prices spiked for a little while. And it's not the prices, it's the fact that like I can still walk in stores and they're always in stock. I'm like, they might have overprinted the shit out of this thing.
They made sure that those were very printable because
I saw they put out a Marvel one as well, and I'm like, I bet that one's going to be a pretty good supply as well.
The Marvel one might not, because the Spider-Man one failed horribly. The Spider-Man run failed real bad because it was like kind of like a mini set. It's like maybe 100 cards or something. So it was very odd. Also. Yeah.
Also, I don't like that.
Also, fun fact, they couldn't call them any of the actual characters on Arena the online one, because Marvel Snap has exclusive rights to Spider-Man digital cards. So they had to change all of the cards to something completely different on Arena. So you had to collect it twice and memorize the cards twice if you wanted to play on Arena and in card mode, so on hard mode. So it's a hilarious failure. After that, the Avatar set, fantastic, absolutely great, and did a bang up job. So great job with that one, which I could talk about.
I have not seen either of the new movies.
Yeah. Oh no. The Avatar, the last Airbender.
I thought you were talking. Sorry, I thought you were talking Big Blue People.
Big Blue People. Yeah. That's what people typically think when I say Avatar. I mean Avatar: The Last Airbender. But yes, I should say Last Airbender because James Cameron has usurped that name easily, very, very well. So. But yeah.
Which is really funny because between using the word avatar and the fact that James Cameron used unobtainium in that stupid fucking movie, it's like, what kind of other stock terms are you going to use? Like,
right.
Is there going to be a ship called the Wilhelm Scream and shit? Like, what the fuck?
It's mine now. I own it. Just like the ocean. I own it like the oceans. I own the oceans.
Yes.
But let's talk about some games that we've played in the past.
Hell yeah.
Let's there's some 2025 games. I got a few. I played Dispatch, the return.
I need to play that.
Yeah, it's the return of Telltale and their new ad hoc games. Pretty much all the people at Telltale, after that company is kind of bombed and went bankrupt, but still around for some reason.
Like the husk of that company got bought by Skybound Media?
Skybound, I think, yeah. So, that Skybound Media, that makes sense. Yeah, the Invincible people, that makes sense. But
yeah,
what's interesting about this game, Dispatch, was this was going to be a Hulu television series, apparently.
Yeah, and they had all these assets made and went,
yeah, maybe we make it a game. And they gave it to the ad hoc people and Critical Role people, and they made this pretty rad game out of it. I had a lot of fun with it. I think the story's pretty well done. There's a few little weird inconsistencies. I think it's funny. I think fully Ramblematic, the Yahtzee, the guy who used to do the escapist stuff. He
zero punctuation.
Zero punctuation. Yeah, his new show, Fully Ramblematic, he kind of talks about how superheroes and supervillains are kind of like a life choice in this world for some reason. They're not like, it's like if you're a villain, you just kind of decide to not be a villain anymore, and like you get no punishment for it for some reason. It's very weird, which is true. It's very kind of esoteric, but it's kind of like an office job. But apart from that, honestly, the dispatching is quite fun. I would love a version where you just do the dispatching and you just kind of forget about the story stuff, because the story stuff, though good, and I enjoy playing it because it's, the Telltale writers or whatever, they did, Wolf Among Us, which is fantastic. The Batman games, people praise those a lot. I haven't played those yet, but I thought the story was really good, but the dispatching was a lot of fun. Give me a game where I get to dispatch and select my team or something and go dispatch in certain ways. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But Telltale.
Yeah, I had heard the first couple episodes, the dispatching is a little too basic.
Yeah,
but I've heard that by the end of that, when you're sending out multi-person squads and stuff like that, that it's a lot cooler.
Yeah, you get the feel of sending out several people, and then the bonuses you get for who teams up with who, or if that person teams up with this, you get an extra person. It's really fun. There's a lot of gameplay, a lot of little gameplay mastery with it, and I played through a few of them to get some 100%ers. There's a great moment in the last one, the last dispatch, which is full chaos, the whole city's being attacked, basically, right? Spoilers. But it's big chaos, big madness, and in the middle of that, one of the subscribers to your dispatch is a celebrity, and he wants a coffee. So if you want 100% it, you have to get this asshole a coffee. And I did not ever get this guy a coffee, but it's I think that's great. There's they make you want to do something stupid just to get the 100%. So thought that's
funny.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But Dispatch. I think it was a game of the year for me. I think that was amazing. So
awesome.
Definitely not much else to add to it because I think everybody else is praising the hell out of it too. So
Yeah. I'm actually playing through like kind of several games at the same time right now.
Mm-hmm.
The one that jumps out to me, I'm not going to talk about Claire Obscure just because everyone won't shut the fuck up about Claire Obscure. That game was great. I'm not done with it yet. I'm 20 something hours into it, and I'm kind of just mainlining it. I'm not going to spend the 75 hours to 100% it or anything.
Right.
I like it just fine. It's a little too French for me, but I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like one of the outfits has a fucking baguette on it. You know, I mean, it's like,
true.
all right. Okay. Yeah. But no, like the game that I'm actually going to pluck out that I'm nearly finished with right now, that is probably, if we were going to do a more traditional game of the year list, this would probably be number one for me, is Chronos: The New Dawn.
Ah, yes.
This is from Bluebird Team, the people who brought you that amazing Silent Hill 2 remake in 2024. This is like a Russian Dead Space about time travel.
Yeah.
And when you put all of those three things together, you have the makings of something that's going to really fucking rock my socks. And then when you add in the fact it's it's Unreal Engine 5 like they used for Silent Hill 2, so it ends up being one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
And then the fact that I'm playing it on my newly built PC, and that game absolutely screams. Like, it is, runs, zillion frames a second, but it looks so damn good. I've also heard that like the Switch 2 version of it is also surprisingly good. So it's clearly a pretty scalable, game in a lot of ways. But yeah, like it's awesome. Like
Nice.
It is, you're the main character is a lady, and you're basically sent to scout out to kind of find out what happened.
Right.
And it is super damn cool. I love it. It looks so good.
Yeah.
If you like that really heavy stomping around Dead Space feeling combat, especially after that amazing Dead Space remake that we got a couple of years ago that EA has graciously told us they're not going to make any more of.
Sure. Why not?
Well, especially now that like they're getting bought by the damn Saudis and shit. It's like, all you're going to see out of them is football and soccer.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure that as they start to get crushed under the weight of the debt that they're going to be saddled with from the buyout, that they're going to start selling off series and stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe, Need for Speed and Burnout and all these games that like you aren't getting right now might get a new life.
Yeah.
When they're sold to someone else. But I don't know, given how tits up so much of the financials looks for the video game industry right now, is there going to be anyone around to make it?
It'll probably be smaller like studios. I think, will be around, but I think I think a lot of the big heads are going to get slashed in a lot of ways. I think that's just how it's going to go.
Yeah. I'm shocked, like in so many ways, that like the Yves Guillemot family has somehow been able to remain at the helm of Ubisoft, given how sideways they have sent that company.
Yeah.
And
real crazy.
Just what a absolute disaster that company has turned into.
Yeah.
Like,
totally
like it's like even the things that they're doing right, they've done so many things wrong that people won't even give it a shot. Like Assassin's Creed Shadows, apparently pretty good.
Right.
I don't know anyone that actually played it.
Right.
Apparently it did okay, but it's not like this rousing success. And that Star Wars Outlaws game, apparently pretty good.
Yeah.
No one played it. Granted, it's a rough time to be involved with a Star Wars
with
project.
Star Wars property. Yeah. It's like nobody wants to talk about it.
The one thing I've heard positive in any way about Star Wars in, let's say, 5 years is apparently people liked Andor.
Andor's about the only thing. Yeah.
I didn't see it, but apparently people liked it.
I watched season 1, tried to watch season 2. I didn't finish it, but apparently it's really good. So I don't know. I'm so apathetic towards Star Wars now, which is something I never thought I would be, but here we are. Like, you know,
it's kind of like where I'm at with Marvel. I don't remember the last Marvel movie I actually watched.
Yeah.
I understand some of the stuff has been pretty good, but they fumbled the fucking football so many times. It's like I didn't want to start down a path with something. It's like I tried to watch that Ironheart show. That thing sucks.
Yeah, it's real bad. Like, it seemed real bad.
You know, like, and I don't count Deadpool and Wolverine. I thought that movie was really good, but I don't count it.
I enjoyed that one. Yeah.
You know, that's not a Marvel movie. That's just one of those Fox movies, except they got to make it under a different umbrella.
Right. Thunderbolts, I thought, was surprisingly good. I didn't give a shit.
I need to sit down and watch that.
I didn't give a shit about that movie, and it turned out that was actually quite an enjoyable movie. I actually liked it a lot. So, and it kind of hit a lot of the same points that the original Thunderbolts hit, even though it's not that original team. So I kind of liked it a lot. They're never going to do the original Thunderbolts. Original Thunderbolts is one of my favorite comics of all time, but they'll never actually do that. But it's I enjoyed that one. Fantastic Four was like, you know, just one of their flatline movies that I thought was like, yeah, inoffensive. It's fine.
Stop putting Pedro Pascal and stuff. I don't like him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think much one way or the other about him, but you know, he didn't add a whole lot to that movie. So, you know, that movie was about as baseline as it could be. So
yeah, and you know, like, he was fine as Joel, but brought nothing other than just a seemingly firm understanding of who the character was.
Right.
Which I consider that you're an actor. That's your job.
Right. Yeah. It's like, can you bring something else to it? Maybe. I don't know.
It's like, you know, like I kept waiting for, you know, especially in the second season, for that show to hit a new gear, and it just didn't.
Yeah.
And then let's not forget that season gave us the worst line since Now That was pod racing with I'm gonna be a dad.
I'm gonna be a dad. So woof.
There are like maybe 4 or 5 lines / deliveries that, like, I always think of when somebody says the word cringe.
Yeah,
it's on the list now.
That's on that list. It's there.
It's on the list.
It's there.
Fucking check that one off.
Check that off.
But yeah, for the holidays, I always like to play a Christmas game.
Yeah.
And, you know, much like I like to watch Die Hard around Christmas, because my relationship with Christmas, I don't have a negative relationship with it, but it's just like, I'm not like the much more wholesome Angle Miracle on 34th Street kind of stuff just doesn't do it for me.
Sure. Yeah.
I was raised by auto workers in Metro Detroit. You know, like, at a certain point, a lot of that more touchy-feely stuff is not really going to resonate with me.
Sure.
But yeah, so I ended up, I'm nearly done with it now. I finally did a full playthrough of Batman Arkham Origins.
Okay. Yeah.
And that one takes place on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And I played the PC version of it. If you remember, this is like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
You and I sat down and played through the first couple hours of Arkham Origins on the Wii U of all places.
That is true.
That version was so buggy, I did not finish it at the time. You know, the Wii U.
Wii U.
What a different time that was. You know, like when we were all like, is Nintendo gonna be a thing?
Yeah, right? Yeah. And then the Switch came, and that was what everyone assumed the Wii U was going to be. And it was like, oh yeah, this is what you wanted it to be. Got it.
And now the Switch 2's here.
Yeah. So.
And
I mean,
you want to talk about the Switch 2?
Do you have a lot to say about it? I can do that. I got a few more games to go through, but that's about
sure. Yeah, let's go through some games. Then we'll talk about the Switch 2, because, like, really, as far as like the only other highlights from the last year is, that was the big release of the year as far as hardware goes. So, maybe we should touch on that, and then we'll move on to our topic of the day.
Absolutely. So Cosmic Invasion, we mentioned Marvel. Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
That's okay.
That's a great beat 'em up. We're talking about beat 'em ups later on in this episode, the Mount Rushmore of beat-em-ups. So, I really enjoyed this game. It was done by the same people that did the TMNT Shredder's Revenge and Streets of Rage 4. So very old school style stuff. But what I really appreciated was that this was an adaptation of Annihilation, which is the Annihilation Wave storyline by Keith Giffen that came out during the same time as Civil War. And everybody's talking about how awesome Civil War was. I was over here reading Annihilation, being like, this is the actual real great series of the year of that time. So
Annihilation is it's top 3 Marvel storylines of all time for me.
I would 100% agree. Yeah, it might be my favorite.
Like it's what legitimized Guardians of the Galaxy as, like a significant force. They are, when you start talking Marvel cosmic anything, it's like that Guardians are going to be in that book.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was
Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Cosmic Ghost Rider's in this. Yeah. A lot of fun stuff. They took a lot of stuff from, what is that guy's name that made Cosmic Ghost Rider? It's going to drive me crazy. But he created him, and he also created Null, the king of the Venom symbiotes. But they're both in this game, and it's a great freaking game. I love the cast of things that they put in with it. Donnie something.
Donnie Cates.
Donnie Cates, creator of Null, creator of Cosmic Ghost Rider, who is Frank Castle, which nobody seems to know. But yeah, that's a good game. That's a really fun game. It's a lot of cool stuff that comes out of that. If you beat Annihilus with Phyla-Vell and Nova, you get an achievement, because that's how that series actually ended, with those two actually beating Annihilus. So they get a little extra bonus on that one, which was great. So really cool.
And the combat in that game, I think, doesn't get enough credit for how it brings so much of the Marvel versus Capcom approach of the team up squad attack stuff into it. We'd never really seen that before in a beat 'em up. And it's executed incredibly well.
Yeah.
It also it advances but doesn't like mature up the TMNT Shredder's Revenge art style in a way that I think I'm glad they went like, this is the coolest looking Super Nintendo game you've ever seen, as opposed to trying to make it look like the X-Men arcade game.
Yes, totally agree. Yeah. I like that a lot. I did love the fact that they sort of played with how like Spider-Man and Iron Man and they play like they play in Marvel vs. Capcom, which I thought was a cool choice. Like that was very interesting to me. Really cool. I hope they do some DLC for that one. I've talked with some friends about some DLC that I would love to see from that, some characters that I'd love to see brought into it, some levels. Cyclops would be great to have, some more X-Men in general, I think would be fun to have. So like just more X-Men would be cool. Some bring in like the I mentioned bringing in Fantastic Four one point, and my friend suggested Super Skrull. I think Super Skrull will be a lot of fun, either as a boss or as a playable character, because then you get all 4 of them. You get all 4 characters in one, so that'd be cool. So I would love that. Cosmic Invasion, I thought it was a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 5 stars, whatever. Whatever we settle on. 10 milkshakes out of 7. I don't know what are we doing. It's like whatever our rating system is here. But yeah, loved that. Last game I want to talk about very briefly, Foolish Mortals. That was a point-and-click adventure that came out. Very cool. It's a small independent studio that put this thing out. It plays a lot like the old LucasArts point-and-click games. Absolutely a lot of fun. Fun characters. The main character is very Guybrush from Monkey Island, very much in that frame. But you're going to New Orleans, you're experiencing ghostly apparitions, and you're talking with them and trying to figure out like this whole mystery of like a murder. And it's a lot of fun. Foolish Mortals, fantastic point and click adventure. It's on Steam. Go check it out. It's awesome. So
I need to look into that.
Yeah.
I've been looking for one of those.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a good time. It's a good time. And then there was another one that I hadn't played yet that looked really cool. As a point and click, is something Betty. I'll have to think about that one. But I can't remember what it was. I didn't write it down. So, any other games before you talk about the Switch?
Switch 2. I've got a couple things that I'll tie into that Switch conversation. Just kind of paints a clearer picture of why I feel about the Switch 2 the way that I do currently. But that's really gonna. I mean, Avowed was really good at the beginning of last year. I liked that a lot. It's kind of like, what if Fallout New Vegas, but Elder Scrolls kind of thing?
Sure.
It takes that Elder Scrolls kind of approach, because it's an Obsidian made game, the guys who made Fallout New Vegas.
Right.
And, for them to have put out Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 in the same year and have them both be really good, it's like a really negative time for Microsoft right now. So I think those games kind of got overlooked because I think a lot of people are pretty bummed out by a lot of the shit Microsoft's doing right now.
Right.
But, I think those games deserve to have gotten more attention than they did. They're very good. But that's really, and okay, Expedition 33. It's really good. Just go play it. Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
People enjoy that one a lot.
I honestly was a little taken aback. I know this is like, a month ago at this point, but like the fact that basically swept the Game Awards at a certain point, I'm like, it was pretty good, guys, but like, wow.
I did appreciate the fact that it was this independent rogue group that sort of came in and swept things. I did like that. It wasn't a big, a big thing, but I hadn't played it, so, and I'd heard nothing but good things. But it's you always kind of feel that whenever like there's a wave of something coming. It's like, is this wave legitimate? Is it more the wave or is it the game itself? It's hard to tell. It's like, I haven't played it, so I'm not gonna say that it is.
Well, and I think for like, there's such an overall, like, I would say like negative sentiment around a lot of big budget AAA right now.
Yeah.
That the idea that like, it's just like the Hollow Knight Silk Song thing where it's like, hey, this is a small team and these people are doing right by you and fuck the big companies. And,
fuck them,
like, yeah.
To a degree, sure.
Not saying I don't agree with some of that to a certain degree.
Sure.
Especially like when you start seeing all that. The thing that like really kind of turned me off with Microsoft this year was, when all the numbers and figures started coming out about like, all right, so you went out and bought Activision for $70 billion. And now you're saying like for you to, and you wanted to be this like touchy feely, we make games for the people. And, was it South of Midnight? That game about, the girl in the South, and it was very storybooky. That game was fucking cool.
Yeah.
But it's
cool.
like, when you start seeing that, like, they're demanding that these games make a profit margin of like 25% going forward, you're like,
right,
they're going to just fire all these people when these games don't hit these goals.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to dump more money into making more Call of fucking Duty.
Yep.
And try again to resurrect the corpse of Halo. And
they're still trying to do that.
Wow. As somebody who has historically been one of the biggest Halo fans that I know,
yeah,
I have never cared less about that.
That's a shame.
That whole thing right now. And it is such a fucking shame because, man, I could really go for a game like that right now.
That's your Star Wars, That's your Star Wars. Your apathy is there,
It is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's kind of where I ended up settling out on the year. I thought it was, like, in some ways, like, one of the best years for games we've had in a very long time. Also, like, at the same time, a lot of the biggest heavy hitter games missed.
Yeah.
Like this is the worst Call of Duty they've ever made.
Really?
It's
That bad?
real. It's real fucking bad.
Was that
And
noticeable for a lot of people? Was it less?
yeah, like
Yeah.
sales are off by like double-digit percentages. It's not only are people bitching about it, most of the time they would bitch about it and still play it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like they bitched about it and didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Or
That's not good.
or played it, and then these playlists are starting to feel like kind of empty, like because I wanted to play some of it through the holidays. I like a game like that. I was playing a whole bunch of Fortnite, but I was sort of done with all of the season pass stuff. I was like, fuck it, I still had Game Pass turned on. I was like, I'll play a little Call of Duty.
Sure.
And some of that stuff's just starting to feel nakedly empty in a way that right near the release of a Call of Duty it's never felt before.
Yeah.
So I just don't know that this current regime at Microsoft and their big, they only care about AI bullshit. That's it.
It's weird.
I don't know. I don't know how they convince, they don't hardly make any Xboxes anymore. If you go to a store, they're never on fucking shelves.
Yeah.
They've basically given up on that console.
Yeah.
And with this weird push towards all right, so how did they even justify spending $70 billion on Activision if they were just going to, within 18 months of that deal closing, just go, I don't really know that we care so much.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
It is really fucking bizarre. It
felt like an acquisition to make them seem bigger for when the Saudis come in. You know what I mean? It's very bizarre. So it's very weird. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm very bummed out by that end of it, but it to kind of wrap that part of the conversation up, I'm glad that the smaller stuff stepped forward this year. And we got a lot of really awesome smaller games like, Chronos: The New Dawn.
Yeah.
Most people probably haven't even heard of that game.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, go look that up. That game's real cool.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's, it's satisfying. It's got an awesome upgrade system. It's very Dead Space. It's super good.
Yeah.
But all right, let's talk about the Switch too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bought one. I was there. Guess what? I bought a console on launch day.
Go figure. Go figure.
Yeah. I picked up that bundle that came with Mario Kart. I have a written feature that will go up on the site, kind of detailing some of this a little bit further. But I'm not the biggest Mario Kart guy in the world. I think that's probably one of the worst Mario Karts they've ever made. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it's the tracks are the problem.
Right.
So they do this whole world tour kind of idea. And some of you have probably already experienced this, but I know that Brandon hasn't spent any, significant time with the Switch 2. And this is kind of the problem with this game is, so the course, if you're going to Wario's, stadium, right?
Sure.
Or Toad's Factory or, Rainbow Road or wherever it is.
Right.
The first half of that race, 2 of the 3 laps in most cases is just you driving to the track, and then you only go around the track once.
Okay.
And the the more open worldy kind of first 2 sections of that 3-section race are in a lot of situations just pretty straight without a lot going on. You're kind of just going.
Right.
And then by the time you get to the track, I love the track, but you don't get to spend enough time on it.
Yeah.
It was a weird choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Switch 2 as a console, it's plenty powerful. It's kind of mysteriously close to an Xbox Series S in power. So if a game runs on the Series S, almost every port has run as good, if not actually a little better on the Switch 2 than it does on the Series S, which is great. They do a lot of cool stuff with that NVIDIA DLSS in there, so they can run it at a lower resolution, but upscale it, with super sampling to make it look better, all that fun stuff.
Right.
It's the hardware is fine. I don't like the screen. The the screen has like it smears.
Interesting.
Like if you're as somebody who uses a high refresh rate monitor, I have this 165 hertz, 1440p monitor on my desk nowadays.
Sure.
And once you go a high refresh rate with good response times, a lower quality panel like the one that's on the Switch 2, it looks fine in static images, but if you're playing something that's very fast, and you're used to running higher refresh rate stuff, it can look a little grody, especially coming from, I had a Switch OLED,
right,
which I think had a very, very nice screen. So the fact that the Switch 2 is technically kind of a downgrade from that in a lot of ways is a bummer.
That's weird. I would have thought they would just went with OLED immediately because that was like the upgrade for the original Switch 1. So but
they're already asking $500 if you switch over to an OLED. Like, how expensive does this thing fucking get?
It's true.
And that's the thing I will talk about is that, like, the price is high. I don't think it's necessarily too high, especially when you take into consideration like it's your Switch for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
And as we've seen with hardware prices, most of the shit goes up in price anymore. It doesn't go down. So it's like, I don't know if you've seen, like, I think the Xbox Series X launched in 2020 at $500. I think it's $650 now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's
probably. Yeah.
What?
That's a bit nuts.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, I think the Switch 2 is fine. I thought Donkey Kong was what at first kind of wowed me, but I fell off of it after about 6 or 7 hours. It just doesn't have the juice. So
really?
So here's the thing. I love Red Faction Guerrilla, and I think that this game is actually really kind of close to Red Faction Guerrilla in some ways.
Yeah.
But the awesome thing about Red Faction Guerrilla is if you were damaging a structure, it had physics in it that would understand, oh, you've taken out so much of the base of this now, it cannot withstand, the pressure of its weight anymore, and it would collapse.
Right.
Nothing ever collapses in this game. You're just digging holes and punching stuff. And that's fine, but it just, at a certain point, it just kind of lost me. I like Pauline. The singing stuff's fun. And no spoilers or anything, but like this does actually tie into New Donk City from Odyssey, which I think is cool. And how we get there. Which is pretty sweet. But overall, the game really wasn't for me. Pokemon, I bought it. I really regret buying it. I don't really like Pokemon very much, but I was at Costco and it was there, and I was like, it was launch day. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. That didn't do it for me. And then Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is one of my biggest disappointments in years.
Yeah, you've mentioned that.
Yeah, it's
a lot of people aren't liking that one. There's a lot of things to it.
It's not actually the stuff that we thought would be the bummer that ended up being the bummer for me. The people are fine. I kind of wish they weren't there, because the whole thing about Metroid is that isolation. And this loses a lot of that as a result. But that stuff didn't bother me as much. The issue is there is zero search action in this game.
Right. Yeah.
There is no Metroidvania in this Metroidvania.
Right.
Like
in this Metroid game.
There is literally only, and you can look at the maps of these levels, and it's a straight shot. This is a hallway that goes to a door, and you might have to fight a guy who will drop the item. Instead of you searching and exploring and, doing all this kind of stuff, you fight the same groups of enemies over and over again to unlock a door. And guess what? If that door doesn't unlock, If you start walking backwards, there's probably another fight that you have to do where you get ambushed from behind and fight the same fucking enemies again.
Yeah.
And there's no exploration in this game whatsoever. And I was blown away. Granted, I'm not blaming Retro for this. They picked up this game from a developer that had failed to make this. And from the sounds of it, from some interviews that are coming out and stuff like that in the wake of the game, being released, Nintendo effectively told them, you don't have the time or the money to completely restart this. We need you to get this across the finish line.
Right. Yeah. This needs to be out, essentially, that was the call.
What I would rather them have done is just to out and out cancel that game.
Yeah.
And then take 5 years away from it and then come back with fresh eyes and have Retro start that thing from its inception.
Yeah.
Because what they put out looks great, runs great, has a pretty good soundtrack. But when you start playing it, it's just, there's not much there.
Right.
And if there's one thing I think that could describe my feelings on this first year of the Switch 2, it's that, this stuff looks pretty good. I don't really want to play
it. Which, that's not what you want to hear from a Nintendo game, because that's what they always preface over, like the graphical, limitations they typically have. It's like, is the game fun? That's the point. So,
and if it wasn't for the few third-party games that I ended up really, really liking, like, I think I would actually have an even more negative view of the Switch 2 right now. But fortunately, that Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D came out, and it's fantastic. That Final Fantasy Tactics remaster came out, and it's fantastic. But also, those things are available on something else. You don't have to go out and buy a $500 console play those. They're on other things.
Very true. You can get it on Steam. You can get those on Steam, and
you can also play those on a Switch 1. It's like they might look a little worse or run a little worse, but it's like it's it's a remastered original, like of the original ones. It's gonna look fine. Well, and that's the one thing I really like about the Dragon Quest HD 2D thing, is that it is kind of like Octopath Traveler in the sense that it's like the best looking 16/32-bit game you've ever seen, which is awesome. Like that technology still, here we are 7 or 8 years later after the launch of that first Octopath, still works. I'm actually really, really excited about that Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined. I haven't downloaded the demo yet, but I'll definitely be playing that. That looks like that will be pretty cool. But that kind of sums up my thoughts on the Switch too. Like, there you go. I don't regret having purchased it because, like I said, it's the Nintendo thing for the next 7 or 8 fucking years.
It's true.
I'm not going to not play the Mario game.
Right. Like, give it a couple years. Some bangers will probably come out for it. I was down on Odyssey back when it came out, and then I replayed Odyssey, or I played through it once, and I was like, that's pretty good. And then I was like, was that really good? And then I played it again. I'm like, no, this game is actually fantastic. And for some reason, was like, I was very down on it on my first experience, and then replaying it again, I was like, no, this is a solid ass game, like super solid game. So
I feel the same way about like Galaxy 2. Is that like at the time I just looked at Galaxy 2 as it's just more Galaxy, and then I actually replayed it last summer when that collection came out, and I'm like, oh, this is actually in a lot of ways significantly better than that first one, and more creative. It didn't have that awesome like hellish story that the first Galaxy has, which I think is dark as all shit, in a way that you never anticipate from Nintendo.
Toads with spears. Toads with spears.
Well, and the way that that revelation at the end that like they're just doomed to do this forever.
It's like, all right,
like it's
cool.
It's like, wow, that's fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, will the movie hit those notes too, you think? An existential crisis by the end of the
no,
movie?
I for some reason I think they might gloss over some of that.
You think
in
Illumination
that.
might not deal with that? Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I can just
Yeah.
I can just hear Charlie Day freaking about it, but like, oh no, we're doomed to hell forever.
Forever. What am I gonna do? Jeez, man, oh man. Before we get into our topic of the day, I've got some fun news. There's some fun little bits of news that I'd like to get your thoughts on today, Haas. I got two little bits of news
Sure.
here. So have you heard about the latest Easter egg from Red Dead Redemption 2 that was just it's just now being discovered 7 years after the fact? Like, so we thought everything was found in this game forever ago, and some YouTuber called Strange Man found a new Easter egg hunt in this game that had been there the whole time. There's some developer out there who put this thing in there, and it's just and it was really cool. So he finds a what do you call it, a telegraph pole, right? And on the telegraph pole, there's a little spider symbol, little weird looking spider looking thing. Kind of looks like the Spider-Man logo, but it's got one really long leg and one small one. And at the top of that telegraph pole, there's a little spider, metal spider Dreamweaver looking thing, at the top, like a spider web, right? With a little couple of feathers in it that you can shoot off. And he sees that. It's kind of similar to the dream catcher mini puzzles that are throughout it. You go around and destroy all the dream catchers and stuff. And so he takes that spider symbol and he overlays it on the map. And each one of the legs connects to a point in the telegraph map where there's one of these spider webs up on the telegraph. So he finds all these telegraphs. Then he goes to the center of the spider, and there's this weird looking spider structure in a tree that says north. So he travels from there to north, and he finds, so it's all these he's now at a stuck point. You can go watch his videos on this. It's called Strange Man on YouTube. But he's now at a point to where he can see, he found this giant question mark in the mountain ranges. All these little things led to certain areas and going to the left and go. Really cool that this thing has just been around and no one's found it until now. And I just think
pretty cool.
It's awesome. Yeah. And right now it's the question mark in the mountains is out of bounds, so he can't go there. So he's trying to figure out what the next spot is. And now people are trying to figure that out. It's just a whole new Easter egg hunt from this game that's 10 years old and still finding crazy stuff like that. I think that's fun. And it's a good, I think that's tantamount to what a solid game that is. And just the fact that so many people still play that game right now, there's still things to do.
When I finally sat down and got serious about that game and put 100 hours into it, I walked away from that feeling I was a changed person in a lot of ways.
Right. Yeah.
And, it is that truly, to borrow, from what we'll talk about later, it feels like a Mount Rushmore for storytelling in video games kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also it's, these sorts of really not discarded, but not recognized Easter eggs in here are just, it's emblematic of, they worked on that game for 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure there were times when somebody's hey, I'm waiting on this other thing to get done, so I'm just going to make some art assets and drop them in the world, and this is what I'm going to do for the next couple weeks because, we haven't met the deadline for my next thing yet.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And
Everybody who works on that stuff just seems like they're having such a good time doing it.
Yeah. It's an abundance of resources that they just get to play around with, at a certain point, because they're still making money off of GTA 5. So, at some point, yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 hit some milestone back in December where it's now I think the 4th best-selling game of all time. We like to talk about Red Dead 2 in comparison to GTA 5, it's some kind of dirty stepchild, that was unsuccessful. No, this is one of the highest grossing video games of all time.
Yes, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
and
it's no Fortnite, but it's doing just fine.
it's doing just fine. And then like, that's the second of that company's big hits. So it's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
They have an abundance of resources and time to do with the stuff that they want. So you're gonna find that type of
Yeah.
stuff. It's
And
pretty
I'm
crazy.
reasonably excited for the next Grand Theft Auto, but
Sure.
more than anything, I'm excited for that game to actually come out, so maybe they'll go work on another Red Dead.
Yeah, that's what everybody else wants to. Yeah, so they want some more Red Dead for sure.
Same.
The next part, this was fun. Star Wars Racer Revenge. This was a weird little bit of something that I found that I read about. The Racer's Revenge PS4 physical edition, released by Limited Run Games in 2019, is selling for upwards of 3 digits online, like $350, $400. Like, it's a ridiculous amount of money that this limited run game for a Star Wars racer game from the PS4 era. The PS4 version of that is going for so much money right now because apparently there is a hack in this game. You can use this game to crack the PS5. This PS4 version of a released game can crack the PS5 to be to open up to be an emulator and stuff, which is not an unheard of thing. Jailbreak methods required for the PS4. Some Blu-ray players would do that. They would crack open a PS3 and stuff like that. And I remember my Wii U. I cracked that with a Smash Brothers, Smash Bros. Version of that to crack it open for putting in all the Nintendo store or whatever it's called, the emulator stores that Wii U has. So it's not unheard of. It's just funny that this this 8,500 copies are all that is left of this like racer game that was ever made, because it was a limited run game or whatever, and that is now going for a ridiculous amount of money because there's not a whole lot of them and they can crack your PS5. So that's just funny to me.
Well, the one thing with that I think is going to have the most interesting long-term ramifications is that there was a common thought that, given the, I don't know if you've been keeping track of this, like how expensive fucking RAM is right now and how expensive SSDs are right now, given that all of this shit's going in these stupid fucking AI farms and server farms. They're buying up all the supply, so there's nothing left for the consumers.
Yep.
As you can tell, I have an opinion or two about that shit.
Right.
But yeah, like the idea that, the cost is so high for materials, there was a common conception that, 2027 was going to be the date for the new Xbox and the new PlayStation. But given that the systems are still doing okay technologically in comparison to what's possible in high powered PCs, that they would maybe push that date back to 2028 or even 2029.
Yeah.
But if these systems start getting broken open and exploited in that way, it's going to force Sony's hand to say, well, good, bad, or indifferent, guess what? That PS6 is coming, bitch.
Yep. Here we go.
And if prices get better, we can always drop it. But, we got to move on because, it didn't ever get as bad for the Switch as I thought it could have, because that thing got pretty wide broken open. But a lot of that is buoyed by the fact that Nintendo fans are so loyal.
Yeah.
And also still into physical media and all that kind of stuff. With PlayStation, if that starts to really, if that apple starts to turn, I could see that having a really negative effect on the user experience. If that's when you start opening the door to cheating and online, which fucks all of that up. There's a lot of really negative stuff that can happen from this. Like, I'm not anti, cracking open systems or emulation or any of that kind of stuff. Sure. I just think that, like, it does open some doors that can have some dark, potential behind them, which, right. But only time will tell.
Yeah.
Who knows if it lets them run a whole bunch of cool shit on a PS5? It's like, awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And that's why I like that, a lot of them sort of embrace the whole virtual console, format with a lot of stuff. You got the Game Pass, you've got the Nintendo Direct or whatever they call it, the Nintendo online shop, where you just pay a subscription fee and get all that stuff. You can get the Super NES stuff library, you can just go on and get that on the Switch. You can just do it. You don't have to.
I bought that stupid Virtual Boy thing. It'll be here next month.
I was very, very surprised that they were acknowledging that existed. But there are there are like 2 or 3 good games on the Virtual Boy. So, that'll be interesting to actually
There's
have
that Atlas game. Was it Jack Brothers?
Jack Brothers, yeah. There's the
that one's supposed to be good.
Yeah, the boxing game, the Robo Boxing one's kind of good.
Telero Boxer.
Yeah, and then the Wario game is well liked quite a bit. So,
yeah.
Wario
Land, and then there was one other, like the Red Alarm, kind of Star Foxy kind of thing.
Yeah, the Star Fox type game. Yeah. People enjoy some of those.
We're getting pretty close to the end of that catalog, though. It's like, all right, there was only like 19 games on that thing. So.
There weren't a lot. It's like some are very rare.
What's really sad is that I own a Virtual Boy, a real one.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
No.
And I bought this thing. And I'm probably not going to like it.
I don't know. Who knows? It's very odd.
I think it's got a lot of potential. Like what if they used that Virtual Boy thing and optimized some other games to use it and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. Like if you made like I always thought it'd be funny if they sold a Virtual Boy and you slid because they had that cardboard slide in the Switch thing or whatever. Make a Virtual Boy set. Just put a Virtual Boy in there. It'd be funny. It'd be great.
Well, that's what this is.
Well, so right.
The new thing is it's a real Virtual Boy. And you put the Switch unit in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I thought it was. Never mind. Yes.
Yeah, it's like $100.
Yeah. Okay.
I spent $100 on that.
On that thing. It's like, it's crazy. So that's nuts.
I spent $70 or whatever on their fucking Nintendo Switch Online GameCube controller, and I don't like that fucking controller. I apparently just make bad decisions with Nintendo.
Oh man, that's funny. That Pro controller is good though. I like that one. Still a good controller. So Switch Pro.
That's the one other thing I will say about the Switch is that they tricked me into buying that Switch 2 Pro controller.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why they
made this insane choice with the Switch 2 that the Switch 1 Pro controller does work on the Switch 2, but it doesn't turn the system on.
Oh.
You have to stand up and walk over and hit the fucking button. And I just didn't feel like doing that, so I spent $80 on a controller.
Well, there you go. It's like, oh man, that's funny.
I'm a lazy boy.
There you go. It doesn't take a lot to get people to pay a lot because it's like, I'm not getting over the spot. You kidding me? I just sat down. Don't need to do this.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
So that, Haas, I think hits us into our topic of the day, our main topic we wanted to talk about, which was...
And I don't know if this one's going to take too long. Some of these will probably be really long, drawn-out conversations, but I think a lot of our opinions on beat-em-ups are pretty in line. So this is going to be the first of a series of these. I don't know that we're going to do one every week, but basically, instead of doing like a numbered list, I like the idea of just doing a Mount Rushmore of X.
Yeah.
And this week is going to be traditional. All right, so do you call them beat-em-ups, or have you adopted the new phrase that people are using?
What is the new phrase?
They call them belt scrollers.
That's not no. I don't There's nothing about that I like. I don't know.
I've only started hearing that in like the last 6 months, is that people are now calling those belt scrollers. Because I think it's because some people get confused between like, well, Smash Brothers is a beat 'em up. It's like, well, it's not. It's
no,
like a bad fighting game.
it's a I'd still call it a fighting game, but like maybe you'd call it like an arena fighting game. It's like a subgenre fighting game, you know, like a black. They had a word for it where you knock them off the arena. I think it's called Arena Fighters or something like that. But you know, but it's a fighting game. It is like it's just a different version of that. So there you go. I don't know. The thing is, people can categorize things however the hell they want. They can call them whatever the hell they want. I remember when they started saying shmups for shoot 'em ups, and I'm like, we already have one abbreviation in shoot 'em up. Do we really want to abbreviate it again to shmup? Like, are we going 3 levels of abbreviation for like?
I used to be an anti-SNES guy.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't say SNES.
I was anti-NES and SNES. Like, it's just the fucking Nintendo. Or I was fine with people just calling it the Super.
Yeah, it's the Super was what I typically called it too. When I got older, I adopted SNES. I never said NES though. I always said NES. If I was going to say that one, it was always NES. I never said NES.
Is it because NES is a person?
Maybe that might have been it, but I didn't know about NES until frickin' 64 because I never played Earthbound, so I didn't even know about NES until Smash Brothers. The original Smash Brothers came out, so you know. There you go. It's like I didn't even know that character. But yes, the SNES I kind of adopted later, but the Super is what I always called it when I was younger. So yeah, the Super. Yeah. The Super NES. So there you go. Yeah, the 64, the whatever. You know, people can call stuff what they want to call it. I'm not calling it a belt scroller. That's a weird name. I don't know what that means. I get that you're on like a conveyor belt. Is that like the idea? Like conveyor belt, you scroll through.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're just going from left to right and you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but, you know, beat them up because you beat stuff up. You beat the guys up and you move on. That's the whole idea of it. So, yeah, I've got my 4 down, but you've got 4, and I think we want to come to a consensus by the end of this, correct? Like, we want to have our definitive for the show.
Yeah, this is us. Yeah, we're gonna you know, make some enemies of each other and, you know, like kind of
scream and cry and, you know, have a lot of emotions laid on the table, I think. And
all right, you want to go first?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I've got one of these on here, which I might switch to one of yours, but one of my top of all time is Streets of Rage 2. That one for the Sega Genesis is like a definitive beat 'em up game for me. I have all classics on mine too. That's my other thing.
Here's my question.
Yes.
All right, so and this doesn't always have to be the rule, but my question to you is are we allowed to do more of one in a single series?
I would say not, which is why I'm probably going to switch it out with one of yours. Because I'd be okay with that. The reason I put 2 is not just nostalgia, but I played this game when I was young. It was one of the top games I had on the Genesis. This is probably, apart from maybe Sonic, one of the best uses of that sound chip that has ever been done. I absolutely love this. Love the soundtrack, love the sound effects. The fact you can go into options and just play the sounds and play the music from the game, just in the options menu. Like, that's pretty telling that they were very proud of this stuff. And this was until I would say 4, the best of this entire series. Like, it's so solid in every way.
I guess that can just be the transition for my first one. I'm going to say Streets of Rage 4.
4, yeah, which honestly I'm okay with that. Just because like these guys knocked it out of the park. We played the hell out of that on this channel, and we had a lot of fun with it. And it was like it was a draw. It was drawing me back to the old days of playing Streets of Rage 2, but so much.
We liked it so much. I bought that beat 'em up collection, and we ended up playing through like an obscene amount of other lesser beat 'em ups.
Yes, just because we were like in a up mood, we were like, let's play some more beat 'em ups. This is it's drawn me back into this whole thing. And but the art design in that game, the new characters that came out of that thing, the callbacks to the 80s, it felt very
the original sprites being in there.
Yeah, the original sprites being in there. It felt very Streets of Fire. Streets of Fire was a movie that came out around that time, which inspired a lot of Japanese media. Streets of Rage being one of them. It's very directly enveloped by that. It's that sort of grimy, everything in the street. The whole city's insane, and you're just trying to beat the crap out of everybody. And it really encapsulated that. And it was a lot of fun. I absolutely loved Streets of Rage 4. So I am perfectly fine saying our slot 1 mixed with the Streets of Rage 2 goes to Streets of Rage 4 because it's kind of just a better version of 2. Apart from
this is an unnumbered list.
Yeah.
But I'm of the opinion that this is the George Washington.
Yeah. Exactly. It is. Yes.
It is the sterling example of the genre in my opinion.
He's not going to lie to you. This one's not going to lie. He knows what he's doing. So, he's the George. Yeah, you're right. I like that one. So, who
what's your next?
My next. I'll go to my next one. I think this one deserves to be on here. I really love Shredder's Revenge. I think it's fantastic new upgraded version of the old TMNT. But Turtles in Time is always touted as probably the greatest beat 'em up of all time. I still think that holds today. I think TMNT Turtles in Time is just top tier, old school fan fun, but solid gameplay that just kept you coming back again and again. I don't know how many quarters I burnt on that thing before it became a Super NES title. And then every subsequent new release that came out on, consoles afterwards, I had to play that version. I could play this game tomorrow and it would still be I would still have the same exuberant experience that I had doing it during back then. So, just classic stuff. I had to put Turtles of Time in there. So.
Yeah, I don't disagree. As much as I liked Shredder's Revenge, and as much as that '89 original is really important, I just think that they really improved the formula with Turtles in Time. Mm-hmm. They got diminishing returns after that with Manhattan Project and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
they're still good.
Sure.
I honestly think that Cowabunga collection that they put out several years ago. It's just a hell of a game. It's so all encompassing. But it really came in stark relief for me playing those in order of the second one is where they really hit the stride.
Yeah, they really knocked it out.
So yeah, I agree. I think that one stays.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. What do you have for one of yours?
I have The Simpsons.
See, I had that one on mine too for a little bit. I pulled it off for, that's the thing though. I think it does belong on there. Probably we can put that on the side for now. I think because it was so coveted for so long, that game wasn't available on anything for a long time.
I still really love that game. I own the arcade 1-up 4-player arcade unit of that.
Yeah.
That is a very foundationally important game. And also, here's the thing that I love about it so much that I don't think gets the credit that it deserves, is that they only had the pilot to work off of to design that video game.
Yeah, that's it. There was no
Konami had a shot in the dark and a feeling that based off of was it the Tracy Ullman show?
Yeah,
the popularity of that was going to be a big success. Yeah. And that's honestly one of the classic arcade units that remained evergreen for years. It hung around in arcades way longer than a lot of stuff from that age.
Yeah.
And I think it sticks. I think it looks awesome. I think it is so laser sharp correct to the show's appearance.
Yeah.
And and the gags are fun. And yeah, I know they were really, because they only had the pilot to work off of, they were really stretching, what characterizations they had to like a pretty thin layer of gum there. But props to them. I think that game fucking rules.
Yeah, because they did stretch it a lot, but like they sort of put them in the right spots and everything like that. Like, sure, you had,
I won't say it has to stay, but I think it should, for now, should be on the list.
I think it's definitely on the list. And the other part, the thing that's kind of convincing me even further, is just the fact of like a lot of kids nowadays don't understand that the 90s, like The Simpsons were everything. They weren't just a big TV show. The Bartman album was huge. Like, it was one of the biggest things like in the nation at the time. That's around the same time this arcade was out. And again, there was a desert of time where this game was not available unless you had an arcade cabinet. It wasn't anywhere. Like, I don't
think it got re-released until like 2011.
Yeah.
They did an Xbox Live Arcade port of it.
Yeah. There was one arcade of it at the mini golf course across from my condo, like, for a while there. Like, and I didn't live in this, it's like it was like one of the only ones in the city that had that in their arcade game, had that arcade. And it was like, oh, we got to go up to the mini golf place and play The Simpsons, because it's the only way you could play it. You could go to a place that owned it. You couldn't just own an arcade thing back in the day that easily. It's like, especially when we were, younger, just out of high school or whatever. But like, that's a thing you can do now. You can have a 1-up that has that game in it. That's great. Stuff like that. There's another game on here that I have that was like the same way. But it's just really cool that, like, it's so available now, even though it was like a long time there wasn't any release of this thing anywhere. And I think it definitely belongs there. The other one on the list that I would probably put The Simpsons over on this one, but I loved this game. The X-Men arcade game is fabulous, and that's another weird one, because it was based off of a pilot as well. So the Pride of the X-Men cartoon pilot that came out from Marvel. This was their second attempt at a X-Men cartoon, prior to the 90s one that everybody knows. And there was a pilot that was floating around. It was a VHS. I don't think it ever actually aired on TV. And it was just based off of this tiny pilot with this cast of 90s, late 80s X-Men roster. And that's what it was. And it was just a Japanese studio made this thing. And, like, it was a quarter grinder. That's about as much as I can say about it gameplay wise. Like, you kind of die and you put in a quarter and you keep going. That's probably my biggest gripe with it, is that it's not that great of a beat up, because you just like died a lot, and that was kind of the whole thing. So, which it never really evolved past the idea that you're just supposed to put quarters in it. But I still love playing it. I think it's great. The graphics are amazing in it. And
it had that dope 7-person cabinet with the two screens,
right? The 2 screens and everything. Like, it was huge, and it was so cool. And, and me and my brother got my dad the 1-up cabinet of that one, plus
nice.
Captain America and the Avengers on the same one, and it was very cool, very, very, very fun. So he's got that, because one of my dad's favorites was the Captain America and Avenger. Thank you, Wonder Man.
I can't move.
I can't move. It's great, phenomenal. But yeah, so X-Men arcade, that's on my list as well. If we'll dance around. You've got one more, I think, to go on, or 2.
Yeah, mine I think might surprise you.
Okay. Yeah.
Castle Crashers.
Oh, okay. Nice. That's a really interesting one, because that was the first Newgrounds game, right?
And it also kind of no, that was
Alien,
the one where you're the alien.
Yeah, Alien Hominid or something like that.
Hominid, yeah.
Hominid, yeah.
No, but this was the game that brought that genre back.
Yeah, that's
from
true.
the dead.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like, so this is maybe 2008. It was one of the first, if you remember when Xbox did their like Summer of Arcade promotions.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like 5 weeks long at the end of the summer every year. And it would be like 5 high profile indie games. And one year, one of them was Castle Crashers. And I just think that game is so important because of what it did to bring that genre back. Because in the wake of that, people went, "Oh shit, somebody will buy this? I've been wanting to make one of these." Right. You know, like, and then we got a lot of really awesome ones.
There you go. Yeah. No, I'd agree with that. I love that
game. It also added RPG elements to it, which was the first time somebody had injected RPG leveling upgrade systems into a beat 'em up, which I think kind of, you know, it allowed that game to turn a corner of, oh, there can be more depth.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people had complained about in the genre, was that there just wasn't always enough depth. It's like, as much as I think that Captain America and the Avengers game is cool, it's rough to fucking go back to, because man, there's not a lot to that game.
Nope, not a lot. It has some funny
other
voice
than
acting.
awesome voice samples, and not a lot else.
Right.
And and I still think that might be my first exposure to Vision and Hawkeye.
Yeah, it's true. It was a lot of people's first around,
because they were still pretty new in comics at that point. Because that game was what, 89, 90?
89, yeah. And Vision was introduced in the 70s, so
but hadn't really, like.
Yeah,
I didn't know anybody that was 6 years old like me that was out there reading West Coast Avengers.
Exactly.
Exactly. Of us for spending our time.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like it's you're 100% right. It did definitely bring it back, and Castle Crashers had a long lifespan. Like, was there ever a second one made? Like, they just kept up. Like,
no.
Yeah,
but they've continued to support that game by doing HD remasters and stuff like that. And that's one that I really hope we get another one of, because if they went back to the well and really thought again of all right, what is our opinion of the next chapter for beat 'em ups? They might be able to do it again.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'd agree.
And especially now with games like Streets of Rage 4 have proven that I don't like this determination, but you'll understand what it means as soon as I say it. AAA gaming doesn't have room for a beat 'em up, but there's this middle price point that they're calling triple I, which is the $40 price point. Like Claire Obscure was that. And, it doesn't have to be a $10 or $15 game anymore. You can be $40.
Right.
You can be $50 as an independent game. And it's all right, well, if you were able to do Castle Crashers for $10,
right,
and have this amount of depth, what does a $45, Castle Crashers feel like? What does it look like? What does it do?
Yeah,
and
even
honestly, it doesn't need to look any different. I love that art style. Every time I see that deer poop its pants and shoot across the screen, I laugh every time.
It's part of the charm, man. It's that Newgrounds charm, it's like that everything kind of looks like that chibi style, Americanized chibi versions of things.
Newgrounds and Joe Cartoon and that era of the internet, we don't have that stuff anymore because Flash is dead.
Flash is dead. It's totally different now, so it's crazy. Newgrounds is still a thing, but it's just such it was such a unique thing, because it was let's take this format, this medium, and make what we want, out of it. And these guys broke into the industry. There's two Newgrounds guys that are heading one of the biggest animated series on Adult Swim right now, Smiling Friends. Those were two Newgrounds guys, and they're the heads of that cartoon. So it's just nuts to me.
Isn't that also where Rawubi came from? Was that not?
That was
those guys?
They were Machinima, I think, because that was
okay.
But yes, independent, that format of things. He might have posted. Now that I think about it, he might have posted on Newgrounds, and then Machinima picked him up because it was Achievement Hunter that picked him up, or Rooster Teeth.
Yeah. For some reason, I felt like there was some kind of through line there, but
yeah. Oh, he definitely
like good, bad, or indifferent. That era of the internet, it's gone.
Yeah,
and now it's like and I'm not here to shit on the kids and 6-7 and all that stuff that they're doing nowadays, but where there is a hole in the internet that a skibbity toilet cannot fill.
Right. Agreed. Totally agreed. I think there was a creativity there that is lacking, I would say. Maybe it's still around. I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned that one because or that you say that one, which I would agree. I think does go on this. So I think we're fighting for our spot 4 because I like that one a lot. I never thought about that one, but it definitely was the revival of the genre for sure. And again, added in that RPG level up system that we see in all of the beat 'em ups nowadays. So I totally agree with that one. For that 4th spot, the only other one I have on here is Double Dragon 2, which I think is Double Dragon being like quote unquote the first beat 'em up. Yeah, it's River City Ransom. That's definitely the first like beat 'em up, whatever. But Double Dragon was like the big one, the first one for a lot of people because that one came on the NES. Bimmy and Jimmy fighting the not Foot Clan, whatever they're called, the Shadow Warriors or whatever. But 2 was the 2-player one. You had to, you teamed up. You had 2 players on one thing. You had the fighting. You had to fight your partner mode and stuff like that. The battle mode that was like a Street Fighter before Street Fighter. It pioneered a lot of the things that you think about when you think of that sort of thing.
So and this is not going to be an overly impassioned argument, but here is my stance against it.
Yeah.
Is that I think the first one is a better game.
Okay.
And the Sega Master System, if you remember in their advertisements, it was, hey, the Sega Master System, we've got all this awesome stuff that you can also get on the Nintendo, but we have 2-player Double Dragon. And that was the only place at home you could get 2-player original Double Dragon.
That's true.
And it looked pretty arcade accurate. Mm-hmm. So like and Double Dragon 2 is a good game. It's a great game. Yeah. I don't think it's quite as good as the original game, which I think docks it some points. Okay. But that's as hard as I'm going to go. I mean, if Castle Crashers or Double Dragon 2 makes this list, I'm not heartbroken. They're both some of my favorites. Right. But where do you stand on it?
Right now where we stand, I had Simpsons on my list already. I took it off for Double Dragon 2 because I thought I needed a kind of an emphasis of like the origins of those sorts of things. And honestly, like after talking with you... If you wanted
to drop Simpsons for that, I could see it.
After talking to you about Simpsons, though, just the fact of like, this was huge and it was coveted for a long time. A phenomenon of a game, and was gone for so long. Like, granted, we've had it for a long time now, but like there was a time that I remember very vividly. It was like, man, you just can't play that game at all. You have to go to the putt place to play the game. You couldn't play it, and just that's nuts to me. That's something like that.
Acclaim dumped a dump truck of cash at the Simpsons, home base and controlled that franchise for 15 years and made some of the worst games imaginable.
Awful games. It's the only good Simpsons game out there is the beat 'em up.
Whoa. All right, so I have 2 others. Hit and Run.
Hit and Run. I was going to say Hit and Run.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Hit and Run's great.
And then, I'm sorry, that season of Fortnite that just ended, that was The Simpsons, it's a fucking crime that thing is just gone.
Yeah.
Because it's arguably one of the best Simpsons games ever made, if not the best Simpsons game ever made, because it's also a great shooter and had all these awesome Easter eggs in it, and you'll just never be able to play it again. It's just gone.
It's so weird. Like that Fortnite is that thing now. It's like the what was that satellite game for the Super NES or for the NES or whatever, or the Sega.
Oh,
the Sega
BU Zelda?
Yeah. BU Zelda, and then like the Sega Satellite stuff. Just like things that
Satellaview.
Yeah, just stuff you'll never see it again. It's just like that existed,
Yeah.
and now it's gone, and you'll never ever see it again. That's what Fortnite is. You at least you have a bunch of YouTube people who played it, and that will probably always be documented. But you won't be able to play it again.
And there is that promise of it showing up occasionally if they keep the license. Because they do that Fortnite OG now, which is just like World of Warcraft Classic, where it's like, oh, I want to play World of Warcraft from this year,
right?
From 2007. That's my World of Warcraft. Like, I think that shit's kind of fucking insane because it's like, it's still fucking World of Warcraft. All that shit's still in there. It's not like Simpsons Fortnite where that map is just gone.
I'd agree.
So where are we at? So Double Dragon 2.
Yeah.
Or
Double
Castle Crashers.
I think Castle Crashers goes on. I think Castle Crashers, I like that one a lot. I think we go Streets of Rage 4. We both agree on Turtles in Time. And I think we put Simpsons on there because it was on my list before. And after reassessing the situation, I think Simpsons absolutely belongs there because it was
the more I think about it, I think I would be doing myself a disservice in this argument. I own a $600 cabinet of it in my basement. At a certain point, I clearly like that game a lot.
This game quite a bit, and I would go to a putt range just to play that game. For a good 4-year period when it was not available anywhere, and even after that. So I think it ended up burning out or something. They never repaired it, so I don't think it's even up there anymore. So it's just crazy to me, man, that it was such a coveted game for a long time because they just would never and at the time people were talking about they're never going to re-release this game, period. The license is gone. They're not selling this license anywhere. It's probably never
because
it
it was tricky because it became a 3-part deal. Because you had Fox and the Simpsons Company that were over here as party number 1, Konami, who developed it, who's party number 2, and then at that time it was EA, who was a third party in this conversation that was holding the rights currently.
Yes.
So they had to work with Konami and Fox and get everybody to agree on it to put out a $10 arcade game.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I think if it was today, if that never would have happened, I don't think it ever ends up happening just because in modern terms, EA wouldn't give a shit about going to that much trouble for a $10 game. They don't give a fuck.
No,
we're lucky that those conversations happened when they did, because I think in the year of our Lord 2026, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, 10 years later, Konami figured they weren't going to make games anymore. So, it's like,
5 years after that, they're making fucking games again, and some of them are pretty good.
They're back to making games because COVID killed their pachinko sales. So there you go. Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. The stuff that's coming back, I really hope that stays happening too. I would love to talk about stuff that I'm excited for on our next episode, because there's some things that we've seen glimpses of that are coming, and I want to talk about them, especially that Sega Power Surge stuff, because I never got to talk about that when it happened, and it's been a while and it's not there. But we've got our Mount Rushmore here.
Hey, I hear that Crazy Taxi game is coming out this year. So.
Yeah, I've heard that too. The Shinobi game came out suddenly, and that happened. So we're maybe getting the Golden Axe. We're getting that stuff.
That Shinobi game fucking ruled.
It rips.
It fucking ruled.
We got that and 2 Ninja Gaidens. Man, the ninja content is flying out the shelf now. It's great.
Dude's name is Joe. Had no idea his name was Joe.
Had no idea. No clue. No clue his name was Joe. But our beat 'em up Mount Rushmore, Haas, we've got Streets of Rage 4, TMNT, Turtles in Time, Castle Crashers, and The Simpsons for our 4 big ones there.
I got a good list.
That's a good list. That's a good list. Everyone should play each of these. I've played all these games, and they're all fantastic. Got some modern staples. We got some classics, and we've got some definitive games, I would say, in the beat 'em up pantheon. So there you go. So that's our.
I think if there's one thing that I want to bring back that we were doing there for a while, I want to bring back the Beat 'em Up Boys series, where we just continue to play through more and more and worse beat 'em ups from the past.
Lesser and lesser.
Yeah. Like I want to play through the dregs.
Yeah. What was that one where we were like fighting dragons and stuff? I can't remember what it was. It was like a golden axe sort of looking thing, but
it's on that beat 'em ups collection. So
yeah.
I don't even know if that video ever came out. We could remake that video and just put that one out because that game was all right.
We did drop that one, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, go watch our beat 'em ups. They're on the channel too. So there we go. They're from like 4 years ago, but they exist. So there we go, man. Yeah, this is
hey, we're back at it.
We're back at it. We're back at the podcasting. This has been the VideoDestruct Podcast. And you can check out all of our stuff at VideoDestruct.com and on YouTube at VideoDestruct. And it's a good time. So we're back to it. We're going to be doing this stuff. I don't know if we'll be posting weekly, but we'll be posting every so often. And we've got a whole new visual. You've seen the visual style here. So we're looking good. So there we go.
If you see my new living room.
Yeah, right? Yeah, there we go. We'll probably crop out. I'll probably crop out quite a bit of mine because I've got a messy room right now, but it's fine. I've got my office all set up. I'll probably start recording there too. So, man, good time.
I got plants.
Plants. You got some plants over there. Good plants. Yeah. Very nice. But there we go. Yeah. VideoDestruct Podcast and a dog. Yeah. I saw her move her paws open into the screen there.
That's Miss Dorothy.
Miss Dorothy. She being a good girl. But yeah. There we go.
I'll stop interrupting. I think we hit our 90-minute limit.
We have. This has been the VideoDestruct Podcast. And check us out at VideoDestruct.com and on YouTube at VideoDestruct. That's where we're at. But that's it for this episode. We'll be back next week. Do we have a sign-off? I don't remember if we ever sign off. I don't think we ever did.
I don't know, but welcome back, Brandon.
Welcome back, Haas. We'll see you guys next week.